everybody but me has an AIPAC person.
What's that mean, an AIPAC person?
It's like your babysitter, your AIPAC babysitter, who is always talking to you for AIPAC.
They don't want to be called bad Christians if they challenge a foreign government, which is what happens so often. Right. Like, you're a bad Christian if you have a question about a foreign government. One of my favorite members of Congress, he loves the Constitution, he loves liberty, he's honest and he's tough, and he's gonna really go after the intel agencies. It's Thomas Massie.
So Thomas Massie just came out and exposed Turning Point USA for betraying Charlie Kirk's legacy. Charlie loved Thomas Massie. And that's not my opinion. Charlie said it himself, but as soon as Charlie was gone and Erika took over, TPUSA completely turned on Massie. They're calling him a RINO, Republican only in name. They're boosting Trump's attacks against him, and they actually want him gone. Now here's the problem with that. Charlie literally called Massie his favorite congressman, so you gotta ask yourself, why is the organization Charlie poured his life into now going after the guy Charlie loved? Well, it's not complicated. Erika Kirk is the new CEO. She runs things now. And ever since that happened, TPUSA has been doing the exact opposite of what Charlie stood for. So let me show you how Charlie felt about Thomas Massie. Back in December 2016, after Massie spoke at a Turning Point event, Charlie posted this on X, one of my favorite congressmen, Thomas Massie, #BigGovSucks. And that post is still up, so you can look it up yourself. And no, Charlie never switched up on Massie. In 2023, Charlie interviewed Massie on his show, and he again said Massie is one of his favorite congressmen. Let's watch it together.
One of the most exciting developments from last week's negotiations is the new church committee. And one of the members of that new church committee is one of my favorite members of Congress. He loves the Constitution, he loves liberty, he's honest and he's tough, and he's gonna really go after the intel agencies. It's Thomas Massie, who's just terrific, from Kentucky. Congressman Massie, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Charlie.
Did you catch that? He's really going to go after the intel agencies. That's exactly what Charlie claimed to stand for. That's what the entire America First movement was supposed to be about. You know, draining the swamp, taking on the deep state, holding the elites accountable. And Massie did exactly that. He fought so hard to get those files released. He went after the intelligence community. He stood against unconstitutional wars. He literally did everything Charlie praised him for. Now let's jump to April 2024. Massie came back on Charlie's show again. Charlie and Massie talked about something called a SCIF. That's a secure government room where they show you classified intel. But Massie's whole point was that a lot of the time, SCIF is a scam. Basically, he claimed they used the secrecy as an excuse to bypass the Constitution. And Massie had been in those rooms. Check out Massie talking about taking one of his colleagues to SCIF.
Victoria Sparks and I went in there, and we read it, very troubling. It's an interpretation, a secret interpretation of the FISA law. They can't even tell you how they're interpreting. Now, when you have secret laws, that's when you know your country has gone too far.
Massie talks about SCIF intimidation all the time, but so did Charlie. He literally tweeted about it in April 2024, and he posted a clip from his interview with Massie. Here's what Charlie wrote. It's all a scam. Shame on Republicans who fall for it. But interestingly, TPUSA has now removed this episode of Charlie's show from all major platforms. I wonder why. And here's the thing that makes this whole situation so ridiculous. All the things Charlie praised Massie for are the exact same things TPUSA is now attacking him for. Let me walk you through what Massie has been doing. Because once you see it, you're going to realize TPUSA isn't just betraying Massie. They're betraying everything Charlie believed in. First, those files. This is the big one. Massie has been the single most aggressive person in Congress going after the cover-up. He co-wrote and passed the Transparency Act. He's been to the DOJ to review unredacted documents. And what he found made him furious. At a House Judiciary Committee hearing, Massie held up documents and called out Pam Bondi to her face. And some of you will remember, this happened after the DOJ released an email from the victims' lawyers listing the names of survivors, the women who didn't want to be identified. And instead of protecting those names, the DOJ released the entire email. After that, survivors started getting phone calls, threats, their privacy was destroyed, and Massie told Bondi to her face that this was literally the worst thing she could have done to the survivors. Let's watch it.
To my right is an email that was sent by the victims' lawyers to the DOJ. It was a list of names not to redact. A list of names not to release. What did the DOJ do with this email? They released this email in the document production. Literally the worst thing you could do to the survivors, you did. And they're getting phone calls. A lot of these people didn't want to be known. And we know you touched the document because you redacted one name and you redacted the lawyer's name, but you left the survivor's name there.
Then Missy called the whole cover-up bigger than Watergate. And he wasn't pointing fingers at just one administration. He knows, as all of you I'm sure know by now, that this is 100% bipartisan.
I think historically, when we look back at the Epstein scandal, it's going to be bigger than Watergate. And it's going to be, by the way, the president didn't go to jail, the attorney general did. It's going to be bigger than Iran-Contra. And here's why. It spans 4 administrations. It's deeper than any political thing on the surface.
Now let's look at how Charlie felt about this issue. Here's Charlie saying he was personally working behind the scenes to get the full, unredacted files released.
We as the American people deserve to have every Epstein file released with no redaction whatsoever, period. And we the American people ran on transparency. We deserve to see the entire client list. Every document the government has regarding the Epstein files, we the American people should have on an easy to access website immediately in a very, very quick fashion. I'm pushing for that both privately and publicly, just so you know.
And then on the whole topic of intel agencies, Charlie spoke about this too. Listen carefully.
Epstein was not some sort of whiz kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part. It's nothing new that if you're in the intel agencies, you want to try and get as much blackmail on powerful people as possible. The evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, Saudi intelligence.
But it's not just the files. Charlie and Massie were also completely aligned on the issue of foreign interventions. Let's watch how Charlie felt about going to this war.
And I'm gonna also tell you another truth. Because while Iran should not have a nuclear weapon, going to war with Iran would be catastrophic. Going to war with Iran would be a dreadful mistake, and that includes American military strikes on the interior of Iran.
Now let's watch Thomas Massie saying pretty much the same thing in Congress.
Why are we going to war with Iran? I think the most candid answer came from the Secretary of State, who told the press that Israel forced our hand and dragged us into this war. Again, and American families in my district want to know how this is going to help them pay for groceries.
Charlie Kirk and Thomas Massie were aligned on all these issues, and that's a fact. But what's happening now? Erika Kirk claims her main mission is to continue Charlie's legacy, and yet TPUSA is out here attacking Thomas Massie and claiming he's not a real Republican. Here's what they posted on the official Turning Point Action X account. They shared this clip of Trump speaking at a rally in Kentucky. This rally was held in support of former Navy SEAL Ed Galrine, who is currently running against Thomas Massie for Kentucky's 4th congressional district seat in the Republican primary. So in this clip, Trump called Massie a loser and accused him of being disloyal. Let's watch this.
You gotta get rid of this loser. This guy is bad. He's disloyal to the Republican Party. He's disloyal to the people of Kentucky. And most importantly, he is disloyal to the United States of America. And he's got to be voted out of office as soon as possible.
And this is what Erika Kirk and TPUSA are supporting. They shared a clip from this speech and they captioned it, "Trump pumps up rural KY voters to stop RINO Massie." So let me get this straight. Charlie said Thomas Massie is terrific and one of his favorite congressmen. But now TPUSA is saying Massie is a loser and needs to be stopped? So how exactly is Erika honoring Charlie's legacy? If Massie is a RINO, then what exactly is a Republican anymore? Because it seems like the definition has changed since Charlie's assassination. And TPUSA knows this. They have to know this. Because they can watch these same clips we just watched. They know how Charlie really felt about Massie. But they're ignoring it. And we're just supposed to pretend this is all normal and leave Erika Kirk alone because she's just a poor grieving widow. But we can all see what's happening here. Ever since Erika took over as CEO, TPUSA has been moving in a completely opposite direction from what Charlie wanted. Erika hasn't mentioned the files once. She never said a word against going to another pointless war. Basically, she's ignoring everything Charlie cared about. And now Turning Point is attacking Thomas Massie, the one guy in Congress who's doing more to continue Charlie's legacy than Erika. So I have to ask, is this what Charlie would have wanted? I'm gonna leave you to answer that for yourself. But I think we all know that if Charlie was here, he would 100% be on Thomas Massie's side.